So he's going off the field. Crams gets a substitute. Batsmen don't have that luxury anymore.
Well, you can retire hurt, Sanjay. There's no damage in retiring hurt.
Can't make runs, George. If you're sitting in the pavilion, retired hurt, buddy. You need to be out there and amongst it.
You can't make runs if you're walking with cramp either, Michael.
You've got to find a way. It's part of playing overseas. It has been tough though in foot go, and as you go to stretch that area, your hip would go or your quad would go, and then you'd lay down and something would go in your back. So it was always tough. Once your body gets that fatigued and that dehydrated, it just takes some time to get that fluid and those electrolytes back into your system to be able to go again. So hopefully for Ashton Agar, Alex has got him off the field now. They'll try and rehydrate him, so if he needs to bat, he'll be fit to bat for the Aussies.
Made a good point, Michael, about Coulter-Nile coming in to bowl now and maybe look for wickets at this stage, because if these two guys hang in there for the next 5 or 6 overs, then India will achieve the target that they have in mind. So if they keep him for later with Stoinis bowling, this helps India's cause that they can actually bat deep into the innings. Not too many wickets lost. So now is the time. If they want to get Coulter-Nile in, now is the time. If they're looking for wickets, if they're looking to just keep the runs down, then have him as one of your best bowlers to bowl the last couple of overs.
Yeah, it's a tough balance. As a captain, they're your two choices in this situation. Do you keep attacking and look to bowl the opposition out, or do you say, well, at 218, the situation we're in, can we still restrict them to 250, 260 and chase that comfortably? And that's the decision you have as a captain, and some days it works, some days it doesn't. So I'm sure Steve Smith will be thinking on his feet. As you can see there, looks like he's signalling to Nathan Coulter-Nile, but he's got options. Australians are bowled well, there's plenty of options out there, so they'll be hoping though India don't make a run over 250.
Should get a couple of runs. And guys, what's your reading of the pitch? Do you think it's going to stay true, or you think it's going to get a little tougher to bat second? Because that's what Virat has pinned his hopes on when he elected to bat first, that this pitch will get a little more difficult batting second.
Well, it's definitely been too paced already in the first innings, so I think it'll only get slower as the night goes on. Again, I think the key for Australia is the middle overs. They're going to have to find a way to be able to score off the two wrist spinners and not take too many risks. Consolidate and keep wickets in hand. Good length there from Stoinis. India 220 for 6.
चलो clean up your toys. दादा दादी आ रहे हैं.
QCB.
QCB? ये क्या सिखा रहे हो?
QCB with VC. मम्मी पापा के लिए. Quote, compare, buy with visitors coverage. अब travel insurance खरीदना is as simple as ABC.
QCB with VC.
Visitorscoverage.com. Buying travel insurance online is as simple as
ABC.
Yeah, in this situation, Michael, you were saying that you wanted to get wickets, but you've got Bhuvneshwar out one end, who's back to the point. You want to get wickets, but you've got Bhuvneshwar there that's struggling to get momentum in his innings. I think the Australians are doing a very good job in keeping Pandya off the strike. So do you really go after Bhuvneshwar, or do you keep doing what they're doing now and keep Pandya away from strike and put the pressure on him and making it the jitters where when he gets the ball he feels like he's got to play the big shot?
I think it's a combination of both. I agree. I think the Aussies have done it exceptionally well today. The easiest way to stop scoring for these last 5 overs for the Australians. Yes, both these guys can bat, their tail can wag, anything can happen on that day, but I think Steve Smith's attitude here, I believe, is the right one. Bringing Nathan Coulter-Nile back in, thinking if we can just pick up one more wicket, if we can just get Pandya, we know we can restrict the scoring.
So Australia have gone with Coulter-Nile, so they're looking for wickets to make their job a little easier at the end of the innings. went for that single because he knew he hadn't timed the ball, so it was going to take some time to reach that fielder at mid-off.
Yep. The other thing about bowling someone like Coulter-Nile now, we've seen 2-dot balls and how hard it is just to get a single. So Pandya has to take off here and sprint just to get a single. He's not even looking for a boundary because he knows he's facing Nathan Coulter-Nile. Good piece of fielding from David Warner. So if Australia can bowl 1 or 2 tight overs, the batsmen know they need more than a single, then they're going to take more risks.
So that's going to be one thing too, looking in these final overs. If they don't get the wickets and Pandya's starting to find his feet, whether they can execute those Yorkers, find a way to slow down the damage out the final, in those final overs. And these are the batters to come. Kuldeep Yadav, left-hander, he can bat a little bit. Chahal and Bumrah.
That's why I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar can take his time. I know he's got just 7 runs of 18 balls. But he's the man in form, and as you saw, there isn't much of batting experience left, so he shouldn't get too perturbed by slightly slowish innings at this stage.
And when you look at that tail, have a look over the last 5 overs, just the 1 boundary. When you look at the Indian tail, that's what Steve Smith will be thinking as well. That if we can get these 2 out, we've seen these 2 score runs in Chennai, but after this, there's not much batting. That's why I like the approach with Coulter-Nile, giving Cummins another crack. I think he's gone about it the right way today.
They play his favourite shot. Now there's no slips for Bhuvneshwar Kumar. 222 for 6.
Hi, I'm Jisha and I'm documenting my sister's wedding. Here's my mom and sister Anaya picking up money that my brother Sai sent from America. This is our home, and tonight my family is celebrating Anaya's Mehndi night. They're excited, but wait until they see Sai walking.
At Ria Money Transfer, we are glad to be part of stories like this. Join the millions of people that already trust Ria.
Australia will be very happy with that Manhattan. There's only been 2 overs which have gone 10 or more. I've been very happy, very impressed with the way that the Australians have executed. Very few shots or very few boundaries on the leg side. They've all been horizontal bat shots, the short balls that the Australians have got, but they've made India score on the offside. They've really hit that corridor well. Hit that corridor on top of off stump, just outside off stump, that we're always expecting our fast bowlers to bowl.
Between overs, we saw Mohammad Shami come out and get the spray out, and this is what he was doing. I don't think it's so much about healing some kind of use. I just wonder whether it's to dry out the palms so the gloves don't get too wet. Starting to get some attention now, Hardik Pandya, the crowd right behind him, expecting one of those massive 6s that he tends to hit.
It's been a good battle, this. Australian bowlers doing well. The 46, the Hardik Pandya, staying patient. 17 now, 19 balls, lots of singles. But he's holding off, taking that risk to play the big shot. When will he go?
If you're in this spot, Michael, where you're batting out the end, are you sitting there thinking, right, there's Cummins got 1 over, Coulter-Nile's got 1 over, Stoinis has got another over after this, so there's 10 balls from Stoinis. Are you going to go, I'm going to target Stoinis because I'm a little uncomfortable against the other 2?
I think you're definitely looking at the bowlers that have got overs left, but as I said before, the deeper you can take the innings if you're in someone like Hardik Pandya's position, the more risk you can take with 2 overs or 3 overs to go, because you know the next 3 batsmen coming in have only got 2 overs to bat or 3 overs to bat. If he takes that risk with 9 overs to go and gets out, he puts a lot more pressure on the tail. So although they might be scoring at 10 and over here, they're rotating the strike, they're ticking the scoring along, 225, and now we might see the next 3 overs, you might see both of these guys go a lot harder. I think it's been sensible batting, but I think it's been fantastic bowling also from Australia.
Just starting to sense a little bit of pressure with the two batsmen out in the middle, not scoring freely, not finding the boundaries. Now just a little bit of risk between the wickets with their running. And you've got to attempt to put your bat down, Bhuvneshwar.
Leading edge, but lucky. Found the gap. It's a single.
Been good, Stoinis. Good length. Tough to score off this length, especially when the pitch is a little too pace, not coming on consistently. Leading edge from Pandya, looking to take that to the leg side. Fortunately for India, gets it into the gap for a single.
Evolution of the game. Earlier in these final overs, full length was the length to go, and now a lot of short deliveries. Here again, another shot of length. Ball just the 4 runs from the over. 226 for 6.
Hey, good and juicy, learn, drop, fresh to see. Young or old, sabhi hai peete, everyone ke man ko jeete. Party function kabhi bhi liyo, all time favorite drink hai kholo. Taza taza maza maza taza maza taza maza. Hey, cool and juicy, high drop, hair fresh. Maza.
So they've got Coulter-Nile to bowl this 47th over. So India will be aware that there will be 2 overs in this innings, which won't be bowled by Cummins and Coulter-Nile. So it could be either Kane Richardson or Mark Stoinis. It will be 1 over each. So maybe they're just waiting for that Hardik Pandya for that final assault.
It's great to see Coulter-Nile on the park for Australia and Cummins. I think these 2 guys give the Aussies a couple of extra weapons in all formats, to be honest. You get Stark and Hazelwood fit. You're a really good group of quick bowlers.
Edge, it's gone flying down to third man. Intention was to go over, long gone. It's ended up at third man, but that's 4 runs.
That's heartache for Coulter-Nile. Shorter delivery. Just giving Bhuvneshwar a little bit of width. Bhuvneshwar just trying to hit that over mid-wicket. Getting the outside edge. Going fine down to third man there. Never happy with that as a fast bowler.
No, it's gone straight up. Well short of that fielder there, running in. Like the badminton drops that you get close to the net.
Like a slow ball bouncer here from Coulter-Nile. No, just slow off the pitch. Bhuvneshwar unsure, am I going to pull it? Am I going to cut it? In 2 minds. Lobs it right in between.
Well, he's gone full and it knocked Pandya down. What's happened here? Oh, Steve Smith is calling for somebody, so maybe more serious than we think here. He's got his helmet on, so his head and face is well protected. He gets a cheer.
A little bit poor from Coulter-Nile. Bhuvneshwar getting that right out of the screws. Pandya. Oh, lucky he got a hand on that. Otherwise, that could have hit him very badly in the helmet.
Looks like his hand slowed it up. Looks like it's got him under the ear. Oh, it's a nasty position. Let's hope he's okay. I don't know if it's actually caught the helmet. His hand might have slowed it down, but you see there Nathan Coulter-Nile's face, he knows straight away.
Yeah, the hand certainly slowed down or took a bit of the power off the shot, but not much. You can see the slightly exposed bit there around the ear, but that's where he got it.
This is what I like about Hardik. He's a tough customer. He's been hit in the head. It was a tough hit there on the head, but he's got up. He wants to get back into the game. He wants to get back into the contest. New medical rules as well. I think the doctor's going to have a look at him just to check with whether he's unconscious. That unconscious test that they've got to do with numbers and concussion test. Yes.
We know he's conscious, so we don't have to do a test for that. That ram shot that he loves to play. But you're right. I mean, it cannot be taken lightly. If he's got some of that impact somewhere around his head, I'm they'll be monitoring that. There'll be some tests or scans done. It'll be kept under observation. Never take those injuries lightly anymore. Again, it's a full leg delivery. Get a single. 7 runs from the over so far. 1 ball to go.
Yeah, very good bowling, Nathan Coulter-Nile. So Bhuvaneshwar, as we've seen, likes to free his arms, so he stays leg side of the ball. Coulter-Nile, bit of angle in, that's missing leg stump because he knows Bhuvaneshwar is going to step away. So smart bowling, got a man down at long on, bowling to his field.
Pandya asking the umpire how many balls over the head in this over. Know where the length is going to be. Still short. Well bowled, Coulter-Nile. 7 runs from the over. 233 for 6.
Students from first and second generation immigrant families face an uphill battle applying to college because there is limited help available at school. There is one college admissions counselor for every 2,000 students in public schools. Don't worry, our college admissions experts can help you and your family. Contact us for a free consultation by visiting uceasy.com. We support all colleges throughout the U.S. uceasy.com, 650-257-0305.
Well, there's Nathan Coulter-Nile, economy rate of 5.1. But more importantly, 3 wickets in that spell. So 2 games in a row, he's got 3 wickets. He's been the pick of the Australian bowlers. He's taking the opportunity. The main bowlers are Stark. While the main bowlers are Stark, Hazelwood have been rested or recovering from injury back in Australia. Coulter-Nile's really taking up the opportunity here in India.
Gone for Kane Richardson. It's a missed time, so it will go slower to that fielder in the deep. Couple of runs. So there's no final flourish that we're seeing from India, but they're getting some useful runs.
Sanjay, I think it's another indication of this pitch that it is too paced. The ball's not coming on consistently for the batsman, so it's hard to stand and deliver and just try and hit every ball out of the park. The Australian bowlers deserve credit as well. They're mixing their pace, they're changing their length. It's a really good indication of what we're going to see more of in the second innings.
Well bowled. Completely different trajectory on that slow delivery.
At the back of the hand there from Richardson. Does bowl a lot of those in the shorter format of the game.
India needed somebody to just stay together till the end of the inning. That's happened. The runs haven't come through Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. They'll be expecting Pandya to make up for it. He's coming on strike now.
One of the things you think when you're out there batting this time of the game as well, is you think if it's hard for you as the batsman in the middle, it's going to be even harder for the new guy coming in trying to start his innings. So although we're seeing Bhuvaneshwar only 18 off 30 and Pandya 19 off 23, for a new batsman it's going to be even harder for them to hit a boundary. So these two need to feel like They want to hit a boundary. They need to look for a, whether it's a 4 or a 6, but don't stress too much. Every single run right now is so valuable to your team.
Excellent point, and I think there is enough indication in this pitch that it's not going to be that easy to bat second. Field is changing. People are running for cover because suddenly out of the blue, without any warning, it's still bright out there. There's a light drizzle that's falling. While Pandya faces the ball, it's gone straight up. Steve Smith has called for it, and he takes it. And Hardik Pandya has started walking. I think Steve Smith was taking no chances. He had the run out as well, just to ensure that if it was a waist high full toss and thereby a no ball, maybe trying to tell him the ball's dead.
Unfortunately, you can't run him out. The ball's dead once they go for the catch. On foot, he's fine.
A little high there, but that was probably caused by the rain as well. It was a heavy drizzle out there. The ball should not have been bowled. The cover should have come on. So there's a comedy of errors out here.
So I think the umpire's given that as no ball, which means he's not out. But what about the run out? Or was he just walking off because it was drizzling? Let's study this matter properly before reaching final conclusions.
I'm very confident. Once they appeal for the catch, the ball is now dead. So
but what about if you're out there, the call of no ball has gone, and you continue play till the run out? They've gone upstairs to check whether it's a no ball. So really, it's a bit of confusion.
It's a different story when a no ball's called for a no ball front foot, then you can be run out. But when there's no ball called, I've been wrong plenty of times before, but I'm pretty sure the ball is dead. And this is the conversation Steve Smith's having with the umpires.
I'm not so sure, Michael, because the ball is dead, or a batsman cannot be run out if he is under the impression that he's out and he starts walking. I don't think any of the umpires raised the finger there, and the ball, the way you saw it just pan out, didn't seem dead at all. Steve Smith was very much in the game. He knew that was a high full toss and there was a possibility it would be called a no ball, so he went for the run out as a protective cover. If the umpire had raised the finger and Hardik Pandya started walking off, then I can understand him not being out, because that happens on occasion. When you think you're out, you start walking and then somebody makes the run out. Here, I doubt whether the finger was raised, so I don't know what's happening here. Well, I think there are a few loose ends to be tied, Michael, so we'll try and work that out. I can understand when the finger is raised. I don't think there was any moment there where the umpire raised the finger for Hardik Pandya to think that he was out, and he should have had that doubt in his mind when the ball was hit and the catch was taken in the deep, that it's likely to be a waist-high full toss. Just like Steve Smith thought that there is a possibility that it could be a waist-high full toss, and hence a no ball. So initial thoughts are those. And you can see a lot of heads getting into the rule books and stuff. But this is one law that we can read out. If the umpire or the player is under the misapprehension that he's out and starts walking off and hence leaves the crease, then the fielding team sees that as a chance to run the batsman out, and that's not out.
Well, there we go, Law 7. We've just Googled this. Technology these days are fantastic. The umpires need it out in the middle, but Law 7, batsman leaving his wicket. Law 20.